Ahmed is 34 years old. He did everything right. Studied hard, got a degree, landed a stable job, got married, started saving, followed every single rule his parents told him would lead to a comfortable, secure, middle class life. And yet, last Tuesday, he sat at his kitchen table, stared at his monthly budget, and realized the numbers no longer work. His salary went up 8% this year, his rent went up 22%, his groceries cost 31% more than 2 years ago, his kids' school fees just increased again. Ahmed didn't lose his job. He didn't make bad decisions. He didn't gamble his savings away. He just woke up one day and discovered that the life he was promised, the life he was actively building, quietly became unaffordable without anyone telling him, without any warning. And here's the thing: Ahmed isn't from one specific country. Ahmed is in London, in Karachi, in Cairo, in Sao Paulo, in Manila, in Toronto. Ahmed is everywhere. And if you're watching this right now, there's a good chance you know exactly how Ahmed feels. My name is Rihan, and I study why the middle class is shrinking globally, and more importantly, what people are actually doing to escape it. If that's something you care about, subscribe and stay with me. Today, we're going to answer three questions. First, what actually happened to the middle class? Because this didn't happen overnight, and it wasn't an accident. Second, why your salary will never fully catch up. The math behind this is something most people have never seen laid out clearly. And third, five specific things you can do right now to stop the bleeding and start building something that actually works in 2026. Let's go. To understand where we are, you need to understand where the middle class came from. For most of the 20th century, the deal was simple. You work hard, your employer pays you a fair wage, that wage grows roughly in line with the economy. You buy a house, you raise a family, you retire with dignity. That deal existed in different forms across most of the developed and developing world. It wasn't perfect, but it worked for enough people that it became the blueprint. Then, quietly, over the last 25 years, four things happened simultaneously, and the combination of all four at the same time is what broke the system. Number one, housing became an investment asset. For most of history, a house was a place to live. Prices were tied loosely to local wages. They moved together. Then, global capital started flowing into real estate as an investment. Institutional investors, foreign buyers, real estate funds, buying housing the same way people buy stocks. And when that happened, house prices decoupled from wages entirely. In 1980, the average home in a major city cost roughly three times the average annual salary. Today, in most major cities worldwide, that number is between 8 and 15 times. The asset price exploded, the wages didn't. Number two, inflation ate the raises. Every year, most employers give salary increases: 3%, 5%, sometimes 8% in a good year. And every year, people feel like they're moving forward. But here's what nobody tells you: if your salary goes up 5% and inflation runs at 7%, you didn't get a raise. You got a pay cut of 2%, dressed up as a raise, with a handshake. Between 2020 and 2024, cumulative inflation in most major economies ran between 20 and 35%. Cumulative wage growth for middle income workers, roughly 12 to 18%. The gap between those two numbers is exactly the purchasing power the middle class silently lost. No announcement, no explanation, just quietly gone. Number three, the cost of being middle class went up faster than inflation. It's not just that everything costs more, it's that the specific things middle class people need, housing, education, healthcare, childcare, increased at 2 to 3 times the general inflation rate. You can cut streaming subscriptions, you can stop buying coffee, but you cannot easily cut your rent. You cannot opt out of your kids' education. The essentials, the things that define a middle class life, became the fastest rising costs of all. Number four, debt became the gap filler. When income doesn't cover expenses, people borrow. Credit cards, personal loans, buy now, pay later. The global consumer debt level hit an all-time high in 2024, not because people were irresponsible, but because for millions of households, debt stopped being a choice and started being a survival tool. That's what happened to Ahmed. Same job, same salary, same city. But Ahmed now tracks his net worth every month. He automated $200 to an index fund the day he gets paid. He sold his finance car and bought a used one outright. He picked up one freelance skill he sells on weekends. Nothing dramatic, nothing viral, no get rich quick moment. But for the first time in 3 years, the number is going in the right direction. The middle class didn't disappear overnight, and it won't be rebuilt overnight. But it starts with understanding what actually happened and choosing deliberately to play a different game. Drop a like if this gave you clarity. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.